The cannon readjusts again, and the humongous barrel is now perfectly aimed to destroy you and the entirety of the gilded Bogotá.
Shit! Think fast!
Hey guys, what's going on? What the hell is that cannon? Gods below, seriously? Are we gonna be in yet another shipwreck?
Please, no, I hate swimming.
Shut it, dear boy. Don't you see we're in a situation here? Andreo's a complete idiot and hasn't had his ship registered with the Summer Company.
We all make some mistakes from time to time, you know. Sheesh. It's not a big deal.
It's a pretty damn massive deal. You're all about to find out what that cannon's capable of if we can't de-escalate this.
Wait, I have an idea. We need to signal something to them so that they know you're on the ship. Surely they won't fire on their own employees. Use your gun or something.
That won't work. They won't hear it at all from this distance.
Then use your flare snap. Surely they can see the lights?
Damn, all right, it's worth a shot. Here goes nothing. I cast flare snap 3 times as a sort of SOS signal.
The cannon doesn't move an inch, and time feels like it has stopped completely. The only thing you currently feel is the stiff breeze of the ocean and sweat running down your necks. However, a small light on the cannon gleams with a green light, and it clanks once more, averting its enormous barrel from the gilded Bogotá. Now, from behind the rocky crags of the Summer Isle, you see a metal ship much smaller than the gilded Bogotá. It features no sails, and it instead has a chimney spewing out black smoke from behind the helm. On its side, you can see 2 letters S&C with a dash binding them both together, the emblem of the Summer Company. It approaches quickly, and the man steering the boat makes a gesture, trying to tell you to halt your momentum.
I guess I'll comply. We're kind of under their mercy, whether we like it or not.
The man steering the motorized boat comes closer and readjusts his golden circlet slightly, resting under his blazing orange hair. The man brings out some sort of tool from his pocket, resembling an advanced compass of some kind.
God damn, this summer goon is dripped out of his mind. Lionel, why aren't you packing a golden crown as well?
Andreo, you idiot. He's a con.
What, is it like a cultural thing? Obama, can I make a roll to see if I know what a con is?
Sure, go ahead and roll for history.
A 13's probably enough.
Khans are a proud race of warriors based on primates, heralding directly from the Western luminant. Their circlets are highly important to their culture, and it represents their dignity and strength. Seeing a Khan without their circlet means that they consider themselves disgraced, or they've been exiled. Because of their training and combat prowess, many Khan travel to other luminants to act as mercenaries and sellswords for a fine coin. Note that many of them will be prone to violence if you insult their heritage.
Dang it, I realized that Khan would be a much better fit for my character than whatever the hell a Seltorian is. Whatever. It is what it is.
I read some of the lore docs, and apparently Seltorians are based on raccoons, possums, and weasels. I guess you scamming people would be pretty in character for a typical scheming weasel.
Huh, I guess it fits after all.
The man steering the boat clears his throat and speaks in a very loud and clear tone, berating you.
You have some nerve sailing up to us whilst unregistered and signaling for SOS. I hope you at least have enough money for the rescue fee. Otherwise, we'll let good old Gustav show you the business.
Whoa, all right, let's all calm down here for a sec. We got the money to pay for a rescue fee, I assure you, but we're not in need.
Then what in Lumen's name are you here for? And who made the damn SOS?
I believe there's been a bit of a misunderstanding here. One of your employees are on this ship, and he's coming back from a mission of some sort. He's the one who signaled it.
Ha! Really? A Summer Company merc on an unregistered frig? Are your horns growing where your brain's supposed to be?
Asshole.
All right then, I'll humor you for a moment. Bring him here.
I'll walk over to the railing of this vessel and show myself, making a badass re-entrance.
As you tread forth, coming closer, you recognize who this Khan is. This is Julius Kensis, one of your trusted co-workers and companions back at home. As he sees you, his snark turns into shock.
How in the... Lionel, is that you? You were supposed to return in a week. It's only been 3 days. The merchant schooner was going to pick you back up once it was done in Etris. Tell me you've at least got the samples?
Of course, my man. Read them and weep.
His eyes open wide in amazement as Lionel showcases the azure blue and viridian green minerals he gathered from Erisia. He's left almost speechless as he stares into the stones.
You crazy dog! How'd you do it?
What can I say, Julius? I work with extreme efficiency.
Yeah, and also because we helped...
Shush, dear boy. He doesn't need to know that part.
Well, I'll be damned! Lord Rosen will be pleased with these samples, I assure you. All right then, who's the captain of this golden fashion disaster?
First of all, this is peak boat drip, so shut it. Secondly, I'm the captain here. Andreo Kotov. You might have heard of me. I'm a bit of a big deal in the East, luminant, you know? A bit of a big shot, which I so humbly acclaim.
You're that one captain who scams the poor and the desperate. We've heard a lot about you.
Okay, I wouldn't exactly call them poor. They give me a lot of money.
Hey, I never said it was a bad thing. You're doing great work. The Summer Company has heard of your exploits, and we're mighty impressed.
Aye, let's go. I'm practically a celebrity already.
Now, let's get you all to the docks. Just follow my boat. Andreo, once we get there, I'll take you aside so you can file some paperwork and register your ship within the Summer Isle records. I'm sure you can see the benefits of not being blown into pieces upon entering our waters.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Very well. Just follow my lead, and I'll take you to the pier. Just don't crash anywhere, all right?
You all carefully follow Julius' boat back to the Summer Isle docks. Past the large crags in the water, you're met with an extensive network appears, bordering right on the first castle walls. The amount of boats and ships here are astonishing, with several dozens of merchant schooners unloading cargo, as well as battle-ready ironclad battleships on standby. The Khan docks his ship next to one of the wooden bridges of the docks and throws down an anchor, which sinks rapidly into the water. He makes another gesture, trying to communicate to Andreo to maroon and anchor his frigate.
Okay, shit, I'm not great at docking. I usually let Orlando do it for me.
Roll a sleight of hand check in order to make the precise movements to park it comfortably.
Ah, son of a bitch. I got a 4.
Andreo makes a turn, but the gilded Bogado turns with too much force, and the backside crashes into one of the wooden bridges of the dock, sending splinters of wood into the air. Julius, who was walking on the dock, jumps back, startled by your sudden movement. The damage is minimal, but clearly your poor boat handling has irritated the Khan.
Watch where you're going, you crazy bastard!
Andreo, what are you, a terrorist? You can't be wrecking this whole place.
Hey, don't blame me. I had the sun in my eyes and the wind was going in the wrong direction and...
Just take the L on this one, Andreo.
Fine. I'll toss down the anchor and get off my ship.
As you try to exit the ship, a group of your crew members gather at the deck, and they gawk at their surroundings. More and more gather, ecstatic to explore.
Tell your crew to stay inside the frig. None of those ingrates are stepping foot on Summer Isle unless you've signed your paperwork. And then they're only allowed entrance if they're planning on buying something.
Fair enough, I suppose. Guys, don't walk out yet. Your glorious Top G needs to file his very important paperwork. Got it?
Our captain is such an upstanding
I bet
citizen.
he even files his taxes on time.
Now, I'll hop down to this Summer Isle fella.
Julius sees Andreo jump down next to him, and the Khan smiles and nods.
Good. I'll take you to my office in a moment. And also, you've got to pay for the damages.
Damn it!
Lionel, I entrust you with the Grimoire and the... Oh, is that a Felinor?
You got a problem with her?
Not necessarily. Just make sure to keep an eye on her in case she tries snatching something. She doesn't quite look like the wealthy type of cat to me.
Oh, come on, that's fake news. She'd never do anything like that, right, Penny?
Don't worry, I won't steal anything. Yet.
What was that?
Nothing?
Good. Lionel, I'll be off. I'll be sure to tell the higher-ups that you're back early. Lord Rosen will be awaiting you. Take care.
Well then, are you ready to experience my home?
Yep.
I'm very excited, actually. This is our first time visiting an actual town instead of some shoddy settlement. What's the first thing we should do?
Have a drink, of course. And also check into the inn, but we can do that later.
Drinking already? It's noon. That's way too early to get hammered.
Who said we're drinking any booze? We've got a pop factory on this isle, a very esteemed one at that. Very good soda pop, some would call it the best even.
What's it taste like?
Ooh, I bet it tastes like smoke.
You'll see when you try it. For now, I'll take the lead. I know this place like the back of my hand. Let's walk past these algae-ridden planks, and I'll show ya the real beauty of this place.
You make it to the beach of the vast tropical island, with grand castles rising from the jagged rocks of the land, basking in the glorious rays of the summer sun. Atop the roofs of the castles, towering chimneys spew out smoke from the industries below. Several bronze polished prototype cannons stand at the ready on the fine sand beaches, showcasing the Summer Company's latest innovations. The smell of both sweet nectar and singed coals fill your noses, and the melody of singing birds and clanking iron soothe your ears. As you take your first steps on the ground of this immense island, you begin to really feel the scale of this place. This is Summer Isle, home to the Fortress of Smoke and Steel.
Oh, wow. I've never seen anything like this. It's so grand.
I'd call it tremendous, but grand works too.
You continue to tread forth, and you all approach a large set of blackened stone stairs leading up to the city. On the top, you see two guards, both with one hand in their pocket, and another one hovering over their holster, watching vigilantly. Both are feloners with their ears shifting around, adjusting to the surrounding sounds. As Lionel approaches, they both turn to face him, smiling whilst extending their hands, preparing for a handshake. One of them speaks up in a hopeful tone.
Well met, Scarson. Quite the dangerous approach sailing up here on a random frig and all. How'd the mission go?
I'll extend my hand and shake theirs. It's been a roaring success. There's many nasty things in Erisia, but I've come out in one piece.
Wonderful. Glad to have you back at the castle. Keep making Lord Rosen proud.
Hey, I'd like to learn about Lord Rosen. What do you two know about him?
You must be a newcomer here. Lord Gunsmith Rosen is a most intelligent and humble man, born of a village blacksmith who left his city and explored the lands, returning with a newfound ambition.
He invented these glorious firearms with only his ingenuity and hard work. He truly is an admirable man. After that, he founded the Summer Company back in 1367 with a vision to change the world forever.
Wait, 1367? Wouldn't that make him over 130 years old?
That's right. We don't exactly know how, but he remains a young and sprawling man despite his age. Perhaps he's been chosen by Lumen itself.
That certainly is intriguing. Nevertheless, he sure does sound like an interesting person.
He most certainly is. Enjoy your stay at Summer Isle, curious one.
Well, I suppose I'll see you both around eventually. Have a good one. Let's continue to walk, guys.
As you all pass, one of the guards now notices Penelope, and they glare at their fellow kin as if she were filth. The guard moves their head and points with their thumb to a sign above the gate, which brutally reads, "Thieves, pickpockets and bandits are shot on sight. No mercy for the meager." The guard turns their back and Rizamia's watch as you pass by them.
Ouch, that's mean.
Pay them no mind, Penny. Just don't do anything you'll regret here.
The walk continues. As Lionel leads you all to a central hub area, the ground is covered in hewn stone, as pristine castle-like buildings surround the area. Most houses have roofs consisting of carved wood shingles. Alleyways in the distance lead to narrow paths, leading to even more branching paths further ahead. You first notice a tavern, presumably the one Lionel was leading you all towards. However, as you inspect the area closer, there are several other taverns in just this small hub area, consisting of 4 in total. Some are placed right next to each other, even sharing space. Each of them has a bouncer protecting the entrances and keeping the order.
Really? 4 taverns, all 10 seconds across from each other? I want some of the stuff the city planner must have been smoking.
It's called the invisible hand of the free market, dear boy. As long as there is demand, there is a way. I'm going to show you the one fitting of my status, and you'll get to try our pop. It's called the Summer Saloon, and it's got just about everything a good tavern needs.
Wait a second. Fitting of your status? Is there some sort of hierarchy here?
Well, yes, but we're not allowed to. We usually don't talk about it. Forget what I said. Let's head in already.
Lionel, as you approach the Summer Saloon with Basil and Penelope beside you, the bouncer notices you and responds with a simple welcome back. They move out of the way and allow you and the 2 others entry into the tavern. Inside, an assortment of tables and chairs are placed, sprawled throughout the area. For the most part, it's empty, with just a couple people sitting on the chairs at the front bar. Lionel, you recognize one of these people as Bren Funk, or just Bren for short. A fellow Kenor, a master thundercaller, and a longtime employee at Summer Isle. He sits there with his combed silvery hair until Lionel approaches.
Well, great heavens, you came back early.
Damn right I did. And with everything wrapped up, good to see you again, Bren. I'll extend my hand to shake his.
Both your hands connect, and you perform a firm and steady handshake.
You're celebrating early, I see. Already here to get wasted in the middle of the day.
Ah, of course not, you mad lad. That can wait until nightfall. I was just here to show these newcomers our renowned solstice brew.
Oh yes, it's not too often that the Summer Isle gets visitors. Who might you two be?
I'm Basil Nildra, an alchemist and student of the material arts. I also happen to be a beginner thundercaller.
Ah, how interesting. You might not know it, but I used to teach thundercall to students back in my prime.
A thundercall teacher, huh? Got any tips for a student like me?
Well, I haven't exactly seen your capabilities, but since you're a beginner, I think this will do the trick. Here, have this little thing.
Bren hands you some sort of copper string, which loops around to itself. The surface appears to be galvanized in something.
Go ponder it in your meantime whenever you feel bored. It's good practice for beginners.
Thank you, sir. What is this thing?
It's called a self-conducting loop. It's good practice for channeling electricity. It's just a little trinket I've kept around. Oh, I almost forgot. What is your name, Feliner?
I'm Penelope, the, bird catcher?
What an odd profession you've got there, young lady. Anyhow, Lionel, the bartender's actually on break right now, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I just poured you guys and gals a couple mugs of our solstice brew myself. It'll be 4 notes per mug.
All right, I'll pay for everyone's first round.
Bren accepts the notes and carefully counts them to make sure they add up. After that, he walks around to the other side of the bar and grabs a couple of wooden mugs and places them under a faucet connecting to a large oak barrel. A dark scarlet liquid flows out and fills the mugs to the brim. White frothy bubbles form on the very top, overflowing just a tad bit. The senior canner places the mugs on the counter and quickly walks back to his chair.
Well then, cheers everyone. I'll grab my mug and chug this whole thing down.
Yippee! I'm gonna drink it all too. Ouch. My tummy.
I'll take a sip first before chugging anything.
Basil. As you carefully sip the brew, you pick up on a few flavors. It tastes like a very sweet cola, with bits of carbonation. However, it has an odd peppery taste, with hints of vanilla. A smooth cherry aftertaste is prominent, soothing the tongue.
Wait. Cola, peppery, vanilla, cherry aftertaste, carbonation. Is this just Dr. Pepper?
Yes, Dr. Pepper. Capitalism at its finest.
Dr. Pepper sucks ass. No way I'm drinking this.
Okay, now listen here, young man. We all know you've said some controversial stuff, but this right here trumps it all. Dr. Pepper is the lifeblood of any red-blooded American.
It tastes like medicine. There's way too many contrasting ingredients. Also, that shit gives you kidney stones.
Everything can give you kidney stones. Besides, having rocks in your urethra is a small price to pay for this glorious drink.
Guys, if you're going to argue about Dr. Pepper, can you at least do it in character?
Oh, all right, fine. How dare you badmouth the summer solstice, Basil? This is the rightful brew of any summer soldier worth their salt. You'd best drink that entire mug, or else you'll feel the wrath of the summer company.
I've brewed poisons tastier than this. It's an assault on my taste buds, and I feel my body literally degrading. I wouldn't feed this to my worst enemy. Fuck no, I'm not taking another sip.
Watch your tongue, dear boy. You shall speak with elegance and respect. Now explain what's so bad with it.
Oh, elegance and respect, you say? Well, upon first acquaintance with this so-called pop, one is met not with a pleasing and gentle effusion of flavor, but rather with an insipid cacophony of misguided intentions. The initial burst of fizziness is, to be frank, more redolent of a boisterous rogue in an otherwise civil gathering than of anything resembling elegance. The flavor, if one can call it such without offending the term, is a veritable masquerade of indiscernible elegance.
5 minutes later.
I, for one, shall not again subject my person to the horrors of summer solstice. A beverage, it seems, best suited for neither the noble palate nor, I dare say, for human consumption at all.
Damn! You, sure had a lot to say. Bren, could you do a tiebreaker to see who's in the right?
Well, that wouldn't exactly be fair since I'm biased. Perhaps there is someone else who's unbiased and can settle this little argument once and for all.
All right, Penny. What do you think about the drink?
I'm dizzy.
The girl collapses with her arms resting on the counter as she begins to sleep. The sugar crash has hit hard, it seems.
Dang it, she couldn't even answer.
I guess that means I'm the winner. Yet another common Basil W. Also, Obama, who's the other person at the front bar? You said there were 2 people there when you first introduced this place.
The other person appears to be an old male with graying hair and horns akin to a goat's growing out of his head. He has a beard similar to the one of an old goat, too. He is, in fact, a member of the Kappa race rarely seen in the East Luminate. He's hunched over, sleeping, drooling slightly over the table. He reeks of booze and doesn't appear to be the most well-kept of men here.
Bren, who's that drunk Capra man?
That old goat? Yeah, that's Ibrahim. He's some old drunkard who's lost his pride. I keep him company here since I don't want him to hurt himself. Used to be a famous dragoon, the best one around, but after an encounter with some kind of sea monster about 20 years ago, he's been completely disgraced.
What kind of sea monster? Was it a lionfish or something?
Well, no, something much worse. He described it as some kind of massive serpent.
Curse you, dread serpent! I hereby vow you will rue this day. Oof! My head! Oh, I'm back in this shithole again.
As the man wakes in his rage-induced fervor, he calms down and scratches the back of his head. His pupils are rectangular and slit horizontally. Behind them lay depressed yellow-hued orbs.
Holy shit. Are you, like, all right?
Ooh, I'm doing just dandy over here. Yeah, what's it fucking look like, you Gremor twig?
Oh, apologies. Well, I was just wondering what this serpent was. It seems to have angered you.
Oh, you dinny have to remind me. I see the lanky bastard in me nickmares. A most vile beast, taller than any of these towers at Summer Isle. Its face was reptilian, and it's got 2 pairs of hellish orangean. Massive horns growing out its head, and rows of disgusting gnarly teeth. Me and my pals, we were out on the big ship, on the border of the Voidsea, when it ambushed us. It roared it with such deafening fury, and spew out rays of ice, and split our damn boat in half. Only I managed to escape its attack, but not before it froze my leg off with its hideous breath.
As he mentions this, you notice the fact that his right leg is actually completely missing, with only a tiny stump left. On the side of the front bar leans an ivory cane, most likely belonging to him.
I didn't know how I survived it all, but I didn't want to get anywhere near the ocean again. I now sit here, like some worthless tube, wondering what crime I could have committed to upset Mother Q like this.
I'm sorry for what's happened to you. It seems you've gone through a lot.
There's no need to apologize, Egypt. Say, are you gonna drink that?
He points to your almost full mug of summer solstice, with a sort of desperation in his eyes.
Oh, sure. I've barely taken a sip since I find this shit pretty abhorrent. There's no booze in it, though, if that's what you're after.
It's fine. I need something to sober me up anyways.
Well, all right then. It's a win-win scenario. I'll hand my mug over to him.
Cheers, laddie. Much better.
So, Ibrahim, what do you do for a living? Except, drinking? Bren told me you were a dragoon back in the day.
Just call me old Ibra. And I was the greatest dragoon there ever was. Could snipe the cock off a fly if I felt like it, but now me hands are too shaky and my vision's not so sharp. Instead, I run a little potion shop on the east side of the city, selling some little concoctions of mine, like Ma used to. There's never many people around. The new big mart sells everything in a convenient little place. Old geezers like me can't compete. Although their potions are nothing more than diluted water, the fools will buy it regardless.
You own a potion shop? I happen to be an alchemist, so I'll definitely check it out.
Thanks. Had to get a new profession that didn't require both legs. Get to see another like-minded fellow here.
What sort of potions do you sell?
Oh, just the usual. Healing potions. Real good ones, I tell ya. I also happen to dabble a bit within ether elixirs and all a thon, but it's really not something I sell to people. Basically, I've got everything Mother Ku would possibly need to treat the injured.
Who exactly is Mother Ku? Is she your biological mother, or is it some sort of goddess or deity?
No, it's neither. Mother Ku was one of the progenitors of the Capra race, along with First Beast Nemet and Moonside Jurek. My lineage traces back to her, and so, according to the adage of our people, we must follow the examples set by our ancestors. Mother Ku believed in taking care of the poor and injured, and as such, my shopper contains potions galore. We a discount gin you really need it. Sorry. I've began rambling again. Thanks for listening, pal. As a matter of fact, I'll give you something of mine for being a good listener and all.
The goat-bearded man reaches into one of his pockets and pulls out a necklace of some sorts. It's a simple chain of brass with a small pendant decorated with tiny purple gems. It features some kind of star motif and reeks of regret and crushed hope.
That there is a Riviera coup. It'll give you an extra boost when using various healing elixirs. I'll open the shop the second I sober up a little. Give me an hour or two.
Ibra rests his head on his arms and falls asleep once more on the counter.
Damn, I zoned out hard as fuck. What happened?
Oh, so that's why you weren't saying anything.
Well, yeah, obviously I can't tell if he's speaking English or freaking Portuguese.
Coincidentally, Penelope wakes up from her sugar crash as her ears flicker slightly.
Did anything important happen?
Oh, you're finally awake. You only missed Basil's thrilling conversation with some goat drunkard. Well then, Basil, it's about time I meet Rosen in person, so I don't have any more time here. I'll leave Penelope for you to take care of. Don't get Penny in trouble, or I swear I'll shoot both of your eyes out. Got it?
Yes. Your message is very clear.
Wait, why can't I follow you?
Yes, sorry, Penny, they won't allow you up there. I'll be back in a couple hours.
Oh,
So what are we supposed to do while we wait for you to come back?
There's a job board in the administrative building with some low-effort and non-violent jobs to pass the time. Or you could just enjoy the scenery. It's quite nice here, after all.
Doing some easy tasks for money seems pretty neat. Where would we find it?
Walk out here, go forwards, then left, and it should be close. We'll meet again in this same bar before sundown. Got it?
Got it.
Good. I'll exit the Summer Saloon and do my thing.
I'll be sure to see you again, Lionel.
I'll see you later, too.
Lionel exits the saloon with haste, eager for his possible promotion. Basil, you are now left with Penelope and have to find a way to pass the time.
So, Penelope, what would you like to do? Do you want to do some jobs? Or maybe check out the city a bit more?
I want to do some jobbies.
Well, I shouldn't have expected anything else. But first, I'd like to inspect this little necklace I got.
All right, roll for Arcana.
15.
You bring out the brass jewelry out from your pocket and use your ether to find any secrets. And, well, it seems to do exactly what Ibrahim said. Upon drinking a health potion, you restore an additional 1d4 hit points.
Oh, that's amazing. I'll equip it right away. Now then, shall we head out?
Yup. I want to stretch my legs a little. It's so nice outside.
You exit the Summer Saloon as well, the scorching sun beaming down upon you. Lionel's instructions were damn near impossible to mess up, and you easily find the administrative hall, which appears to be more of a guild hall than anything. Upon coming closer, the words Mission Hall are featured on a wooden hanging sign near the door. As you enter, a small chime rings on the door, alerting the people inside of your approach. The inside of the building is well lit, with tan wood veneers covering the walls. This building is slightly more crowded than the barren Summer Saloon, as summer employees casually converse with each other. On the far end of the building, there's a large wooden corkboard along with mission posters, right next to a wide bar, where clerks stand in anticipation.
Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's see what they've got in store.
You both walk towards the mission board, and it's way larger up close. Upon doing some reading of the titles of the posters, you find a mission detailing a minor mudskipper outbreak. It reads, Mudskipper outbreak on the West Shore. 4 mudskippers in total. Volunteers needed.
Mudskippers? Well, it is a combat task, but mudskippers are barely a threat. We could handle that pretty easily.
Requirements: 4 to 5 years of combat experience. Flame charm is a bonus, but not required. The rewards are 30 notes before tax, so it's actually just 20 notes.
Yeah, never mind that. They expect 4 to 5 years just to deal with 4 mudskippers? I literally one-shot 3 of them last time I fought them, and the rewards are laughable at best. Are you having any luck finding a decent task, Penelope?
Yup. I can't read any of this.
Wait, really?
Yeah, look. It's all so squiggly.
Let me try to read it for you then.
She points to the text, and it appears to be cursive. It's not exactly something you would find hard to read, yet she is completely perplexed by it.
It's all about the patterns. Let me show you.
As you break down the cursive text and explain it to her, she watches on in curiosity. She seems a little overwhelmed with all these new concepts, but she appears to appreciate your clarifications. However, one of the clerks at the front desk suddenly speaks up.
Excuse me, sir, what is your name?
It's Basil, ma'am. Why do you ask?
Well then, Basil, would you mind attempting this task? We haven't had any luck so far, but you might be what we need.
Oh, sure. What's the job?
We've had some troubles with a group of squatters right on the north edge of our town. Our construction sector needs them gone by the end of the week, but we haven't had any success in shooing them away.
I see. What makes you think we'd fare any better?
The leader of the squatters happens to be a grimoire, just like you. I don't exactly know how, but maybe you'd have a better chance at convincing them to leave than the others. The reward is 200 notes post-tax, and a summer bracer valued at 240 notes.
All right, I'll bite. What do you think, Penelope?
Sounds fun.
Wonderful. Love the enthusiasm. The trip is only about 20 minutes back and forth, and it's an almost straight path ahead. When you walk out of here, turn right and walk straight ahead. Once you begin to really see the rainforest, turn right at the gate and take the path which leads to a stone bridge. It won't be long until you see their tents.
Well then, let's do this. We'll be sure to come back with positive results.
I sure hope so.
You both exit the mission hall and begin your walk. The trip is quite pleasant as you get to appreciate the immaculate architecture of Summer Isle. The view would also be beautiful if you could somehow see past the stone walls. But as you travel further, the architecture degrades massively. The buildings are now shoddy, made purely out of sun-bleached wood, built on cracked stone foundations.
Yikes. My home in Erisia looked prettier than this.
These can't be for people, right?
As you look past them, you notice winding and faded roads of gravel and sand. which lead to several rocky hills in the distance, most likely the caves the Summer Company gets their iron from. You now see several people which appear to be dredgers or miners slaving away on large stones in the blazing sun as guards stand watch, overseeing the operation.
Huh. It sure loses its appeal once you walk past the pretty exterior. Well, I guess that's to be expected in a place like this. It's really more of a corporation than it is an actual city.
Mm-hmm. Boomstick sort of described this place as a haven, with just a bunch of good stuff. But this place feels odd to me. But then, why does Boomstick like it so much here?
Well, perhaps Lionel's just used to it, just like how you're used to Erisia and the hidden village there.
Yeah. This is the furthest I've ever been from home ever. Travelling around is fun and all, but I want to stay still one day.
Mm-hmm. Me too, Penelope. Me too.
Hey, you can just call me Penny. That's what Boomstick calls me, and I think you're cool enough, so you get the honours as well.
Whoa, really? I'm honored, Penny.
You continue walking, following the instructions of the clerk. Once you finally see the gate, you enter and continue onto a stone bridge, which seems to be holding up much better than the other buildings on the outskirts. From the view of the bridge, you can spot a river down below, as well as palm trees basking in the light. At the end of the bridge, there is nothing but the expanse of a tropical wilderness. There seems to have been minor construction in progress, judging by the odd bricks laying here and there, but it must have been canceled. Right in the corner of your eye, you see several tents and a lit campfire nestled between the trees and a few stones. As you come closer, you spot a Grimorian woman with pale white horns and a piercing violet gaze. She holds a wooden spear tipped with iron in a steadfast grip, although her demeanor changes for the better once she sees Basil. Her grip changes as the spear is now pointed towards the sky.
A fellow Gremor kin and a Felinor too. What are your names?
I'm Basil Nildra. Pleased to meet you, fellow kin.
And I'm Penelope.
The Grimorian woman's eyes widen a tad upon hearing Basil's name.
Nildra? What a wonderful ancestral name. It sounds almost regal. Very well. I am Mimika Zekra, priestess of the children of Navai. What brings you here?
Well, we were sent by the Summer Company to convince you to move and leave this ground.
The soft smile from Mimika's face fades and is instead overtaken by a somber expression. She turns her head and breaks your eye contact.
What did I expect from them? They're trying to send fellow Gremor kin to relocate us from our ancestral grounds now.
They use the word squatters when referring to you, but this doesn't even seem to be the Summer Company's property. What's going on?
You'd be correct in assuming that this doesn't belong to them. My people moved here from Meteor Isle several generations ago, or about 200 years. We were here before a single stone had been placed by the Summer Company. We have been living deep in the rainforest here, surviving off the land and praising our goddess Navai. But as the men of smoke and steel expand, they creep further and further into the only land we have left. We had to place a small outpost in this exact spot in order to hinder their rampant construction. Now, for the past month, they've been sending more and more people to confront us, to shoo us away, but we shall not leave, not an inch.
That's really mean of them. Have they tried to hurt you?
Indeed, young Felinor. They have only resorted to violence once. We had to constrain the men with our frost draw before calming them down with halcyon incense. I find these physical confrontations quite spineless, as we are pacifists. As per the words of our luminous Navai, we are not to inflict wounds unless wounded first. If a clash cannot be avoided with words, then we mustn't kill our foe, only inflict the necessary harm to end the strife.
Perhaps we could come up with a compromise? You could leave this spot, but only for an hour or so, and then return. That way, Penelope and I can get our rewards, and you won't have to leave indefinitely.
We could use some of the money we get to buy you some food.
The priestess appears to be deep in thought, contemplating the offer.
I appreciate the gesture of goodwill, but I cannot fully put my trust in you, seeing as you work for the Summer Company. Then again, you two don't seem to be employed by them, such as the other tormentors there.
Well, yes, we're just visitors here. We know someone who works at the Summer Company, though. He told us to check out some of the jobs to pass the time, and we got recommended to do this one. Also, where are the other people? When they said squatters, they must have been referring to more than one person.
I see. And yes, there are more of us, but they are out gathering as of now. They should arrive in a couple hours.
Suddenly, Penelope's ears flicker around, and she looks distressed. Something odd has grabbed her attention.
Did anyone else hear that?
Hear what?
Same here. I didn't hear anything particular.
There, behind you!
An assassin clad in black, wearing several belts, and adorned with an orange sash springs forth from seemingly out of nowhere, with a dagger in hand. Mimika manages to turn around, but her shoulder is pierced with a devastating impact, almost dislocating it. She takes 14 piercing damage, and she falls to one knee, screaming from the pain.
Quick! We have to help her, dear dude.
Shit, let's get him.
Then roll for initiative.
I rolled an 18. Nice.
Penelope rolled a 22, Mimika rolled a natural 1, and the mysterious assassin rolled a dirty 20. The turn order will go Penelope, assassin, Basil, and then Mimika. Penelope begins the fight by rushing and flanking the assassin, unsheathing her short sword as she runs. She first strikes with her blade as a main action, which she gets advantage on. Just a 12, so that misses. The assassin grabs Penelope by the wrist as she attempts to backstab him. He then headbutts her on the nose, dealing no physical damage, but repelling her attack.
Ow!
Don't get in my way, Pipsqueak.
With his swift rebound talent, he gains 1 stack of momentum. The assassin then flourishes his dagger and goes for a devastating finishing blow on the Grimoire priestess, intending to stab her right through the eye and into the soft brain tissue behind it. A 13 to hit, which misses as the priestess ducks, carefully avoiding the knife. It grazes her antlers, carving a small notch into them. It is now Basil's turn.
All right then. That assassin is obviously only after her, so we've got to heal her up before he finishes his mission. I'll move over to Mimika, grab a rejuvenating salve from my alchemy pack, activate my placebo effect talent on her, and then heal myself in order to heal her, and add the additional 1d4 healing bonus from my amulet. All of this for just a bonus action and some movement.
Well, damn, that sure is a lot. Anyways, you approach the wounded priestess, and she turns around and looks at you as you bring out a wondrous healing flask from your pack. However, in her horror, you start to just pour the salve onto yourself, healing you for 12 plus 1 hit points. She stares at you appalled, but suddenly her wounds begin to patch up rapidly, as if she was the one who used it. She's now at 25 hit points out of 26.
How in the what? How does that even work?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Oh, cool. New potions. When did you make those?
Yeah, so, now's probably a good time to mention that I kind of appropriated, like 8 rejuvenating salves from Andreo's ship when he wasn't looking. Don't tell him that, though.
Don't worry. He's a bit of a jerk, so my mouth is shut.
I should probably finish my turn. Instead of attacking, I'd like to use my main action to analyze which faction this assassin could be from. Knowing their true motive could be a good start.
A smart choice. Roll 2 checks, 1 for history and 1 for perception.
A 17 on my history, but only a 10 for my perception.
You recognize this assassin's uniform characteristics and connect it to a certain faction known as the Knives of Ilis. Not too much is known about them, other than that they are completely neutral in all faction politics, because they simply kill for the highest bidders. Somehow, they have an uncanny ability to pop in and out of space, yet you have no idea how. Judging by the assassin's posture, they have not made a mistake. This is their bounty, as per the request.
Wait, they only kill for money? Doesn't that mean that someone has put a bounty on? Oh shit. Some higher up at the Summer Company must have silently put a bounty on their heads to get rid of them, without even telling the people at the mission hall. We've just been caught in the crossfire of it all.
Wait, what's going on?
The Summer Company has sent assassins after you.
Is this what we get for trying to be reasonable? Perhaps we'll need to teach them some diplomacy.
Mimika gestures with her offhand and summons 3 chains of ice from the sky, aiming to ensnare the assassin. A natural 20 to hit and 9 frost damage. The glacial chains perfectly ensnare the assassin, reducing his dex score and cutting his movement in half for 2 turns. The frost damage has also procced the frostbite status effect, reducing his armor class by 3 and also limiting his movement by 10 feet for 2 turns.
Damn, she got one hell of a roll there. Also, I see that the elemental status effects have been added too.
Mimika then uses the shaft of her spear to smack the immobilized assassin as a bonus action. 10 to hit, which actually succeeds because his dex is lowered. The assassin receives a devastating smack to the face from the Grimoire priestess, taking 6 bludgeoning damage, and is dazed for 1 turn. Penelope uses her turn to use her weapon Symphony Triple Ren, an 8, even with advantage, which misses. The assassin rolls backwards, avoiding Penelope's stab with grace, gaining yet another momentum stack.
Yikes, he's quick. Not to worry. I've got more stabbiness in store.
Penelope uses her light flourish as a bonus action, slashing twice with her single short sword. She rolled a 21, which succeeds. Her slashes connect, catching the roll of the assassin, dealing 4 slashing damage.
Aren't you a persistent one, Cat?
It's now the assassin's turn, and he uses a bonus action to consume a Void Tear Flask, clearing all negative status effects and restoring 5 hit points. The icy chains shatter, flying all over the place, and his limbs unfreeze, gaining back their dexterity as the assassin rolls his shoulders. He walks 1 step north and turns around with haste, preparing something sinister.
I've had enough of this. Looks like you're both dying.
His knife begins to glow with a slight crimson hue, and he lunges forwards, using his weapon symphony, Red Whaler Slash.
Oh crap, weapon arts exist now.
Dirty 20 to hit. The Knife of Ilis rushes forwards with his blade held in front of him, generating a sanguine arc which easily bypasses the defenses of the Feliner and the Grimorian woman. He rolled max damage, which is 12 bleed damage to Penelope and Mimica, and by consuming 2 momentum stacks, the assassin activates his speed demon talent and adds another 4 blood damage to the attack. Blood spills out like a fountain, covering the grass with red dew, as both of the women have been inflicted with the blood loss effect, granting them disadvantage on all mantra casts and dispelling all positive buffs they might have had in effect. Both Penelope and Mimica recoil back from the intense pain, bleeding profusely.
My blood, my vision's failing me. Navai, guide me.
Damn, he's strong. Looks like I've got to engage too. I'll first cast my Jolt Warp mantra and teleport to his north side. A 17 to hit and 10 lightning damage as I teleport and give him a nasty shock.
The assassin recoils as he is struck by a sudden jolt of lightning from behind, but he manages to keep his limbs moving and avoids paralysis by a tiny margin.
Why do you bystanders need to complicate this?
And now, it's time for me to play my own symphony. I'll use my Pressure Blast as a bonus action to fling him away. 14 to hit and 9 force damage.
Basil reels back his Zweihander and unleashes a powerful pressure shockwave against the assassin, sending him flying back 10 feet from the intense force. He's sent into a backflip at the end and lands painfully on his knees. Mimica brings out something from her pack as she stares down the wounded assassin.
There is no longer a need to hurt this man. This fight ends here.
Mimica, even whilst bloodied and injured, runs up to the man with 2 strange sticks in her offhand, giving off a strange scent. She brings them right over to the man's face, and he stares at her in confusion. He tries to lift his dagger to slash at her, but something compels him to stop.
Rest now, O misguided child. Let the serene halcyon of Navai flow through your senses.
The assassin fails the wisdom saves and begins to enter a very deep slumber. His eyes roll back as he mutters a few futile words of exasperation.
Need back up.
Combat is over as the Knife of Ilis is completely under your mercy. Mimica limps back to you, smiling softly.
Thank you, both of you. I would have surely died without your assistance.
Wait, let me heal you. You too, Penelope. I'll give each of them a bottle of rejuvenating salves.
They both accept your bottles. Mimica applies it to her wound, and it begins to heal quickly. However, Penelope instead tries to drink it, but has trouble in doing so.
Blair, how am I supposed to drink this? It's so chunky.
Penny, you silly goober. You're supposed to put it on the wound.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Ooh, thanks. Also, Miss Dear Girl, what was that stick you used?
Oh, this? Incense sticks dipped in halcyon potpourri. Inhaling the mixture makes you incredibly sleepy, and if you're wounded or tired, you'll fall asleep in a heavenly repose. Us children of Navai make this solution out of crushed herbs and Vendry bloom petals. It is our most peaceful solution to mindless conflict. In fact, I'll give you a pot of it as a token of my gratitude.
She hurriedly runs over to one of the tents and brings out a small purple clay pot with a lid, sealed tight with many strings. She hands it to Penelope, who awkwardly accepts it.
Thanks, ma'am. Basil, can you take this? I don't know what to do with it.
Oh, sure. So, Mimica, what will you do with the assassin now that he's incapacitated?
I don't exactly know. If we let him stay, he'll just come back again to kill us. I'll take him back to our home, treat his wounds, and nourish him. Hopefully he will change his ways. We'll have to disarm him before we try any of that.
Ooh, I want his stabby dagger.
You walk over to the unconscious man and unpack several throwing knives and also his own personal dagger. A whaling knife utilized by the ferocious knives of Ilis. It has a snake motif going down the middle, and it seems to be of exceptional quality. You hand the whaling knife to Penelope, who's very excited about it, as she giggles while juggling it around.
Hey, be careful with that. You'll cut yourself if you keep playing with it.
What? No, I'll be ouch. Okay, I see your point.
Well then, Mimica, what happens now? Will you stay where you are?
She looks at the campsite and at the bloodshed on the grass with a grim expression.
No, I know in my bones that this won't be their last attempt at our lives. We will have to yield and move back.
She sighs, knowing that the Summer Company has ultimately succeeded in their goal.
I thank you all for your efforts. We won't be here for long for both your and our own safety. Take care.
Well then, I guess we succeeded?
Yeah, sorta. But it feels odd. It didn't feel like we won at all. I got a new stabby thing, so that's cool, but that deer girl was so nice. It felt wrong to have her move away.
Honestly, I agree. This whole mission, and the summer company too, it's starting to feel ugly. You know, when we get back, how about we go buy some food instead to take our minds off this stuff? You know, after we get our reward?
Yes, food's always nice. Let's go back.
Well then, Lionel, you exit the Summer Saloon with haste, excited yet composed, ready for your possible promotion. You stroll with elegance and grace as you make your way to Rosen's castle, walking past several other friendly guards who all greet you with respect.
There's no place like home.
You find yourself walking under the shadows cast by the numerous towers cooling down from the blazing heat. Eventually, you are met with a large opening, and as you look up, you see a massive mansion in a Gothic style, surrounded by hedges. This is Rosen's own personal living space, you're sure. A staircase leads up to the double door of the mansion, guarded by two men with rifles. Their uniform is a dark gray, along with white and black embroidery. On top of this, they wear a slate-colored coat, befitting an aristocracy. These men are dragoons, the highest-ranking summer soldiers, with aim so sharp they can willingly ricochet their bullets to multi-kill enemies. They are on the apex of the hierarchy, just below Rosen and his shareholders. As you come closer, you notice that their eyes were locked onto you from the moment you entered the vicinity. One of them keeps their eyes peeled, whilst the other steps forwards, engaging in conversation.
Ah, you're Sergeant Lionel Scarson, I presume. Quite the bombastic entrance.
Indeed, Sir Dragoon. I've come with the samples Rosen requested.
Excellent. Word has spread quickly of your success. But remember, that's Lord Rosen. Addressing Lord Rosen without the proper title could get you fired if he's in a bad mood. So heed my warning. Don't slip up when speaking to him.
Of course I know that. We just happen to know each other on a first-name basis, no titles needed.
Well then, if you insist.
The dragoon opens the heavy double door with a key from a keychain hanging from his belt. It swings open smoothly, inviting you in.
Lord Rosen is awaiting you on the second floor, in his private lounge. Do not keep him waiting for long.
You enter through the doors, and you take in the surroundings. High pillars of stone connect to the roof, and adjacent to them, a staircase of stone winds up to the second floor. Bright lights peer through the Gothic-style iron windows, illuminating the dust in the sky as chandeliers hang high in the air. You've been here several times before, and yet the architecture amazes you every single time.
He really didn't cheap out with his manse, huh? He's a man of exceptional taste, I tell ya. I'll walk up these stairs and then head to his lounge.
You walk up the grandiose stone stairs and into yet another corridor where you easily find his lodge from experience. Before you even knock on the door, it's opened for you by a guard armed with a rifle. You enter and are greeted with a lodge beyond luxury. It features several large sofas clad in dark green cushioning, tables holding bottles of fine spirits and whiskey, and massive windows peering out into the rainforest beyond. 4 other guards stand in the corners of the room, standing still like statues. On the sofa, you see the man himself, Lord Gunsmith Rosen. He wears an impeccably fashionable black and gold suit, along with a white ascot. His face is covered by a white bone mask, resembling a masquerade mask, referencing his Vesperian lineage. His hair is jet black and slicked back by layers of gel. He sits down with his legs crossed, with a full glass of whiskey in his hand. His mere presence emanates influence and control, and he carries himself with brilliance and perception as he rocks his glass back and forth in anticipation.
Mr. Scarson, we're glad to have you back. It has come to my attention that you've completed your assigned task several days before the deadline, and I've just got to say, well done.
Thanks, Rosen. Just doing what I'm best at.
You can feel the piercing gaze of the several guards in the room, staring you down for your informal reply, expecting harsh words from the gunsmith lord. But to their surprise, Rosen simply chuckles and lifts his mask slightly to delicately sip his whiskey.
Outstanding. My judgment didn't fail me one bit. You truly were an excellent choice for this mission. We're quite lucky you learned Flare Snap while at Erisia. Without signaling that SOS, those samples would be compromised. And you too. Say, do you happen to have your mineral samples on your person? They're piquing my interest.
Of course. I'll carefully hand him my 2 pouches and open them slightly for him.
You place your pouches in the palm of his hand as he brings a monocle to his eye to analyze the structure of the minerals. He seems very intrigued by these samples, as he murmurs to himself.
How peculiar. Upon closer inspection, Erisia appears to have a structure similar to pyrite, yet it seems to act as a true metal instead. Perhaps it could... Oh, apologies for my rambling. Treat yourself to a glass and take a seat.
Thank you, you're too kind. I'll seat myself on the fancy recliner opposite of Rosen with my own glass in hand.
Oh, I almost forgot to ask you. Did you find a suitable location for an iron mine in Erisia?
I did, actually, but it might not be the best. Just at the entrance, and to the right, there's a tunnel showing promising signs. I didn't exactly have time to make a geological survey and all that, but it's got some potential. The only downside is that it smells putrid, due to the acid pools further ahead into the cave.
Good. And right at the entrance, too? Even better.
Isn't the stench in acid pools a turn-off for this kind of thing? I don't want to be pointing out the obvious, but isn't that sort of dangerous?
Ha! Gods, no. When I put someone to work, they work. Caution and safety be damned. If some laborer complains about the conditions, then they can catch a bullet with their feet for all I care. As long as there is profit, I am pleased.
Damn. All right, then.
Oh, why the long face? They're at the bottom of the pyramid. Why do you care? Ah, I know how to take your mind off those unprofitable thoughts. I have some rewards for you, Mr. Scarson.
The Vesperian man gestures to one of his guards, who in turn hands over a small case to him. Rosen opens the top, and inside lies a pristine revolver. The color is jet black, with beautiful porcelain white markings covering the grip and underbarrel. It is so finely decorated that it might be mistaken for a piece of art instead of a weapon.
Whoa, you're giving this to me?
Of course. I'm most certainly pleased with your performance. Out of all the other failures we've sent to Erisia, you are the only one who came back alive. Or at all, actually. It is refreshing to see someone do their job well for once.
Wait, have there been others who've been sent on the same mission as I have?
Yes, there have been 3 in total. The first one, we believe, was intercepted on the way there, and we never got to hear about the second one, but they're presumed to be dead somewhere in Erisia. The first 2 were sent just a couple months before you. And, well, the third one is you. Nevertheless, I'd like to introduce you to your new weapon, an apt reward for your troubles. This is a prototype invention of the Summer Company, called a sunrise repeater. Unlike your primitive flintlock, this arm can store 6 bullets at once, without the need to manually reload it each time you fire.
I see, this thing looks incredible, but how come it's so extravagant? There's details everywhere.
Well, this is one of the 2 prototypes, created for me personally. We're working on ways to cut down the cost, to then later produce en masse and distribute them to the rest of the guards. With your contributions, we'll definitely have an upper hand on the Ignition Union. So I'll give you the honor of wielding one of my prototypes. Consider this your official promotion from sergeant to left hand. You'll be taking more missions from me directly, since you've proven to be a reliable asset.
Thank you so much. It truly is an honor.
Oh, and one more thing. I have another mission for you, but I'll let you rest and celebrate for now. Be sure to come back tomorrow, high noon. But as a little parting gift, I'd like you to have this. With a new promotion comes a new wardrobe.
No way is that. Drip.
Andreo, you sit inside of an office near the docks, as Julius sorts paperwork in the room next to you. The office is quite cramped, with barely any space to stretch your legs. Your only form of entertainment is looking outside of the window, where you can see the sprawling castles just within your grasp.
I'll sit with my legs on the desk in front of me, chilling like a gangsta. Gods, how long are you going to be filing those papers? I'm here to get bitches and earn money, and right now I'm getting neither. What's taking so long, really?
Julius enters the room with a stack of papers in his hand. Judging by his expression, he looks quite peeved, as your constant talking has been annoying him.
Calm yourself, Andreo. I assure you, we'd both want to be out and getting some hoes, but unfortunately, I'm stuck with your nagging ass. I've got it all sorted here now. Also, take your damn dirty boots off my mahogany desk.
Fine. Let me register my ship so we can both get this over with.
He plops down the papers on the desk, along with a quill and ink. He places his gun on a board close to the desk as a sort of intimidation tool.
Before you can register, you'll need to be free from any crimes committed against us, so I'll need you to pay the fine for destruction of summer property. It's a 150-note fine, which I'm sure you can pay for.
I don't know. That seems a little too high for a slight buckle and splinter. How about 100 notes?
Roll for persuasion.
Dang it, that's a 6.
Nope, you'll pay 150.
How about 110 notes? Damn it, an 8!
It stays at 150. Don't try to silver tongue your way out of this.
Okay then, what about 125? Fuck! Nat 1. These are the most dog shit dice I've ever rolled.
Yeah, nah, it's now 175.
Wait, you just went up?
That's what happens when you try to barter a fine dumbass.
Are you even legally allowed to do that?
I'm altering the deal. Pray that I don't alter it any further.
Obama, can I roll to sue this guy for plagiarism of an intellectual property?
Andrew, just pay the damn fine.
Okay, fine, geez. Have 150 notes, you leech.
The last 25, please.
Gah.
Congrats! Now that you've paid the fine, you're legally allowed to register your ship within Summer Isles properties. I'll need you to sign here and here.
All right then, let's see here. I'm guessing this is just the ordinary legal mumbo-jumbo. There. Done. Now, if you don't mind, I'll be doing some shopping. A top G needs some supplies for his frig.
Julia's face turns impossibly smug as he sees you handing the papers back to him.
Well, my bald fellow, I wouldn't exactly call it your frig.
What in the depths are you talking about?
Have a look here, you illiterate douche.
He points to a sentence in a paragraph on one of the papers. The text states that by signing the paper, you've willingly contracted the boat to the Summer Isle. In other words, they now own your ship. As you finally look at the title, you realize that it's not even the registry paper at all. He's hustled you.
You've always got to read the fine print, so-called top G. Here at Summer, we hustle the hustlers.
You know what? I agree. You got me. Congrats. I guess it's within your little work culture to earn cash by any means necessary. Don't get me wrong, I do respect the grind, sincerely I do. But since money's so ingrained in your culture, I'm also guessing you're a betting man. So with that being said, I'd like to make a bet on something.
A bet on what exactly?
I'll take a long, hard look at his gun, which he's placed conveniently out of arm's reach. I bet I could break your fingers and smash your skull in before you reach your pistol. 21 on my intimidation.
Julius now realizes what he's done. He's just majorly pissed off a hulking martial artist bounty hunter by trying to hustle the hustler. He carefully turns to look at his gun, and then to you. You notice his arms shaking and his fingers quivering slightly. This is a fight he cannot win, and he knows this. He swallows in fear, and you can feel his anxiety rising.
I see what you're hinting at, and you make a very compelling argument. But unfortunately for you, the contract's signed. There's nothing you can do about it.
I'll grab the papers I signed and tear them up in front of him, scattering them across the room.
Never mind, I'm fucked.
Yeah, exactly. How about you bring the real papers, lil man? Otherwise, we'll see how right I am.
You know what? I apologize. I'll get you your papers. I like my face the shape it is, thank you.
Good, and don't you dare snitch, peasant.
Julius exits the room incredibly carefully and re-enters with a single paper, which he carefully hands to you with quivering hands. As you look at the paper, you can clearly see that this is the correct one, as the title clearly reads Ship Registration Form.
Good. I'll quickly read through it this time and answer it.
It's exactly what it's supposed to be. A simple form with a few questions asking about ship ownership, weight, ship class, etc. No strings attached.
Neat. I'll hand the paper back to him, as well as give him a nice little clap on the shoulder. Nice that we could come to an agreement. You know, if you didn't tell me that you had tricked me, I would never have found out. You know that, right?
Crap. I didn't think about that, damn it.
Pretty bold to try to hustle me out of all people, but I respect the grind. It appears you've got a long way to go. Hey, I know how you could improve. You should buy my course, Rushlers University. It'll work wonders for your skills. Trust me, bro.
You must genuinely be smoking crack if you think I'd ever fall for that.
You're a perceptive one, aren't you? Well, all right then, suit yourself. I'll be heading out.
You're surprisingly chill, even though you threatened to kill me like 3 minutes ago. Hey, I have an idea. I could show you around Summer Isle and show you where all the cool dudes hang out. It'll be magnificently great, I assure you.
You know, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Let's head out.
You exit the office with the con by your side as you both walk out through the main door and up the first stairs. You're greeted with the magnificent towers of Summer Isle, with the gleaming sun shining down upon you. And I believe that's where I'll end the session. Thank you all for watching, fellow viewers. I apologize for the delay between the two parts, but we should be back to the boys in the depths next session. Thank you all for watching and have a good day or night.